Welcome to the second episode of the Startup World Cup Finland 2020 online competition. Today, you will see Kenton L spin-off and Roxul pitching their businesses. Stay with us for the Q&A session that comes right after the pitches. Please, welcome Kenton L spin-off. Their mission is to revolutionize the way we do software testing. Kenton L spin-off is creating the next generation of software Q&A without humans in the loop. And now, let's see what Henri Terho has prepared for us.
Hello, I'm Henri from Qentinel, and today I'm to tell you how we are going to revolutionize testing in the cloud. 500 million new apps will be created in the next 4 years. That's the same amount that's been created in the last 40 years. QA and testing has not kept up, leading to the testing becoming number one bottleneck in software development. With Kenton Pace, we aim to solve this problem. Pace is a hyperscalable testing platform in the cloud. It is built on top of open source solutions such as Robot Framework and expands on them. We offer the community a better way to scale testing. You can provision any testing environment from the cloud, be it mobile or native, and even connect embedded devices. You can then access all of them from anywhere through our secure cloud interface. Our machine vision support lets you run the same tests on multiple platforms, reducing the need for separate tests and maintenance. Many critical test systems have suites that take days to run. That's why we build machine learning models of your tests and provide developers with immediate feedback relevant to their work. Our AI systems can even predict the quality of your software release before release. We embrace open source and offer public APIs for all these endpoints for developers to innovate. We are creating the next generation of automated QA without humans in the loop. There are currently no comprehensive cloud solutions to the whole pipeline, leaving you to build your own solutions from multiple offerings or from open source. We are building a solution on top of open source, making all of these users our customers. We provide Kenton Pace as a SaaS subscription-based cloud service. You pay a monthly fee, we handle the scaling for you. Our solution is perfect for companies wanting to deliver quality products fast or who want to ensure that their digital businesses run flawlessly. You can also build business on top of the Kenton Pace ecosystem. You can start automating testing of your clients or processes on day one. Our product has been growing with the business, and in 2020, we are ready to go live with a totally self-service subscription. Our next milestones after that are to develop our predictive analytics capabilities for testing and to increase our presence in the software ecosystems globally to help us grow and be recognized. For this, we are looking for a round of 3 million. Our team has also been growing, and now we are looking for investors with experience from the open source platform economies and SaaS to join our team and scale the next generation QA platforms. As we believe that any business is only as good as the software driving it.
Thanks, Henri. Just a brief comment. I think the Tammelantori summer marketplace, you will make a terrible career over there with all that 150 words per minute in your video. But to the question, so you already have some MRR last year, because it was like in something like say 70K, and yes. This year you expect 250K per month. So my question will go to the area of product market fit.
Yes.
So what do you think about the sales you have? Is it still kind of temporary and customer case by case, or do you think that you already have a product market fit? And if you have, what do you think is attraction for that?
We think we have a product market fit, and I think one of the main drivers for the traction in there is the way that we are one of the only testing infrastructure providers there is, that we provide the testing infrastructure for you and you don't have to worry about the scaling. Also in there, one fact is that as we have a full stack of services, we have the open source robot framework at the bottom line, which gives you the freedom to basically port your tests to any other platform or port your previous testing to our platform also. And that gives you the feeling that there isn't really a vendor lock-in on the bottom. And of course, what we've been testing this now with the sales process that we have is that we've been transitioning away from direct sales and from the active sales model as much as possible and trying to give people a much more self-service oriented way of getting into our product. And we are still getting a lot of traction, even though we are reducing our direct sales efforts and turning more and more into inbound marketing. And I think that's one of the main points, that our product is quite sticky. And typically when you're talking about automated testing, you make a testing set of say 100 tests, and then you add into that, let's say 5 tests a week. That raises the amount of testing and tests that you have made into our system, and then you run them every week. And that in the same way ties you in pretty deeply into our system. And we haven't had practically any churn on our clients in the last 2 years now. So I think we've achieved at least a problem solution fit.
Okay, so a brief carry-on question. If you think about the expected MRR this year, 240K per month. So what do you think, how much of that will be inbound and how much outbound?
Looking at this year's statistics that we've had, we are going at about 50-50, but actually, even though the situation with Corona is actually quite horrible now, it's forced companies and people to do this great digitalization leap. We've actually got a lot of inbound marketing now as people are transitioning away from testing labs, as now they're realizing that we cannot access those testing labs and everything is wanting to be accessed through the cloud and from anywhere you are working. So we're actually getting a lot of inbound leads for us now. So we believe in the fact that we are transitioning away from outbound to inbound.
Okay. Riku.
Yeah, so it sounds like a classical SaaS software case. So how is the pricing? Like how did you price and how are the customers? How difficult are they? How different are they from each other?
We have quite a varied crowd of customers. We have some who are developing their own products and complex products. One of our references, of course, is Kone, which is the Kone R&D is one of our biggest clients and using our platform. And then on the other end, we have software consultancy houses from Finland and from the US, for example, Dragonspears, who are doing software consulting, software products to other customers and their customers. So they're using that as part of their development pipeline, not doing products for themselves, but producing software for others. And what comes to the pricing model, we have a base tier of about 200K euros a month for our platform, including analytics and including the base pricing in there. And then we have 150 hours of tests included in that base price. After that,
sorry, what was the base price?
About 2,000 euros.
2,000 euros, okay.
Yeah.
Not 200K, okay. 2,000 euros.
No, not 200K.
Yes.
That would result in interesting MRR. But
yes.
That base is meant to be a platform that we get the clients to stick with our product and then start adding more and more tests. And then later on, the pricing transitions into this dynamic pricing based on load. But you can actually buy additional capacity beforehand if you know what your load will be, and that will be cheaper. So again, if you buy in bulk what do you say? If you buy before you actually spend it, you get it a lot cheaper from us. What we are now actually doing is we are transferring our licensing model also to 2 tiers. So we have personal licenses, which will be free for open source projects and for developer personal usage for 200 minutes a month. And then on top of that, we will have the company licenses. And I'm pretty sure we will be coming down on the baseline price also there, and transitioning more towards just consumption-based pricing. Okay.
Why would that make sense?
We currently have reduced our own cost quite a lot on the beginning, and we've had some feedback on the initial pricing that we have, that the pricing tier kind of hampers initial startup of the project. Yes, and we want to bring that barrier down.
But then it's difficult to keep the price up for Kone and other players that could pay 20,000 instead of 2,000. So if you say that this is for free,
but then it's of course consumption limited in that the consumption is actually most of the pricing for those big customers anyway. So the base price isn't even that high of a percentage for those customers.
Okay, and the lifetime value currently is what?
Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Lifetime value LTV for the customers. What is that? What's the ratio LTV CAC? What's that now?
Sorry, I'm not familiar with the LTV term that you mean.
Yes, lifetime value of the customers. So how much? What's the
churn? How much have we gotten? We haven't actually churned. We've only churned one analytics customer through the 2 years that we've been doing the product. Typically,
how many customers do you
have? We have 60 something currently.
Okay.
And a lot in the pipeline. So of course, we've had some that haven't progressed through the whole sales pipeline, and those we do not calculate into churn at that point.
Okay, sorry. Mari's turn.
From Maria. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. Wondering, what is your target group? What size of businesses you want to be your customers?
Currently, we have 2 target groups. We've initially targeted bigger companies that have a revenue at least $10 million and have complex IT infrastructure that needs a lot of testing or complex products. Those have been the initial targets for our direct marketing efforts that we've done. And now, as we said, we are targeting the freemium market with the try for free model that we are going for. What we want to achieve here is that the whole platform is based around Robot Framework, which is an open source testing tool which has been developed initially by Qentinel back in the day for Nokia. And we want to tap into that open source market to get those developers to know our tools and our platform. And then bring that platform into their own small businesses or into bigger corporations. And then on the other hand, we will target all the CIOs and CTOs of bigger target companies directly by us. And when they go and ask their development teams and testing teams, have you heard about this tool? They can say that, yes, we know about it. It's an active community around it. And that gives you the kind of trust level that we want to get into these big, large corporations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry, and thanks to our jury for their questions. Next, we are glad to welcome our second startup of today, Roxul. They provide production optimization monitoring and AI prediction solutions for processing industries, mainly oil and gas, semiconductor production, mining, and pulp and paper. And now, Mika Tienhaara is going to tell you more. Enjoy!
Hi, my name is Mika Tienhaara, and I'm a CEO for Roxul. We're a Finnish technology company delivering production optimization solutions for the processing industry. At Roxul, our vision is to make industry a safer and better place to be. Within the next 5 years, our target is to be a globally trusted provider of optimization tools. Operators today experience severe issues with blockages and shutdowns due to emulsions, solids, and wash issues for which they lack process data. This results in huge amount of lost production, highly costly maintenance and repairs. And it is not getting easier. Oil and gas, field and fluid complexity is increasing all the time. So we have been looking at the value we at Roxul can create for operators with our unique sensor technology paired with our tomographic imaging systems and AI dashboards. Lost revenue streams, we think, can be recovered in a very short time and amounts to hundreds of millions US$ per year. It relates to improved production, better processing, lower costs. This should be attractive to any operator as we see it. The sensor technology we have developed, as nothing like this was available in the market to support our software platform, has higher reliability and robustness, it has higher performance, higher resolution, it sees emulsion layers and solids, and creates unique process insights paired with our AI platform. We have been awarded a prestigious Oil and Gas OTC Spotlight on New Technology for this year. The main markets we serve are within oil and gas for pipelines, separators, tanks, and it's adding up to tens of billions US$ per year as a market space. We work also multi-industry, so we see also market space with additional billions of US$ where we can use our monitoring competence. We see a strong growth as a company. We have already more than 30 clients and scale-up potential is huge. Our business model is moving into the SaaS model as we now have market acceptance for our novel IoT sensors. Our team has done several successful technology and commercial phase exits from previous ventures. We have a strong IP position and previous funding of 10 million euros and now looking for 6 million euro in addition. The scale up in multiple industries is highly possible and the market space is huge. So my message to you is join our adventure and invest in Roxul. Thank you.
Okay. When I look at your video, one of the things that I was thinking about, that you mentioned that the kind of a main segment for you might be oil and gas companies and kind of major industrial players. So many of those, I guess, are very traditional buyers in the sense that they value established players. So you're a startup. So what do you think, how do you differ or differentiate from the more established players that are your competitors when you are a startup and they maybe have a long track record already working with the very established oil and gas players?
Yeah.
So how you can manage the competition as a startup?
Also, that's a really very valid question, and that's something I'm used to also, having run with, let's say, my startups previously in a very conservative industry. But you have what they really like, the oil companies, to see value. If you can create value for them, you also come with unrivaled services, and and you build trust. You show them how the technology solutions work, and typically, I mean, getting in that direction, they honor that, and that's how you can actually outbeat and outsmart all the established players. So as we're working with Shell, ExxonMobil, Equinor, we're coming up with Total. So we work with the big ones, definitely.
So a carry-on question. So what kind of traction you have in really demonstrating that value in practice for them?
Yeah, we spent 6 years with R&D developing our own sensors because there was nothing that robust in the market. So what we have done during, let's say, late 2018 and during last year and into this year is to run a lot of, let's say, we've done testing and qualification in flow loops, but we are in the field now installing our units, and because you get instant data, so you can see directly the difference between not having data and suddenly you have rich data. And they just come back and say, we want more. So we're on the track with several clients now. They said that, well, they're scaling up their activities. And clients we have already been working with, they come back, we want this on this other project too, and this operation, etc. So it's following in this track now.
Okay, go ahead, Riku.
Yes, in the presentation you said that you are moving to SaaS. So is the operation now like a project base, or how is it, and how are you going to move to SaaS?
The thing is that we have a bit of a mix. There's been, in my opinion, too much project sales when we actually have all the capabilities. We have actually the service model is all set up for doing SaaS. So we're actually doing a mix today, and we're just transferring some of the, let's say, more traditional project sales into our SaaS model, and putting them on the dashboard too. So I would say today maybe we have a third on a SaaS model, but we want to get up to 80% or so.
And how many people are you in the company?
Right now, let's say on my payroll, we are 15 guys, and 15? This is 15. This is not very CapEx intensive and not people intensive either, so we can easily scale up to.
What's the turnover now?
Let's say 2018 we were still an R&D company. We had hardly no turnover. So last year we achieved 850,000 euro.
Okay.
And we project still in this situation something around 3 million this year.
Okay. Oil and gas is going to be, of course, in deep downturn now with the oil price, but that's a separate
But
issue.
Because the oil price is low, they cut their capex investment. They use the OPEX for our devices. They need even more services for production optimization. So we actually, our last order is incoming today. Then we have a record first quarter, and we are on good traction for next quarter with a lot of orders. But oil and gas is one game. We are working with electronics, with semiconductor production too, where Samsung is now piloting 4 of our units. And they have said that, and this is in South Korea, and they have, as one single client, they have a need for 60,000 sensors and monitoring services from us. So it's incredible. So,
okay. Mari, please.
Thank you. Yeah, it's time for Mari here.
Yes. So how are you handling your sales at the moment? I hear that it's going up, but do you have one guy running around the world for whole time, or how are you handling it?
Yeah, that would be tough for that guy. But no, we have few working on sales, and we're also set up with, let's say, some representatives who are well known to us, who function as a tech sales representative in key markets. And in our, let's say, scale up plan now, we also have a plan to, let's say, recruit or onboard a few more salespeople. But mainly we need to increase our data scientists, data analytics team.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mika, and thanks to our jury. That's all for now. More will come tomorrow. Thank you for being with us. In the next episode, we will present you 2 more startups, Comtech Solutions and Mapple. Don't forget to subscribe and have notifications on. See you!